Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It is Binky here, late. Of course, I'm always late with everything. I have like a backlog of about 20 videos and I never put anything up because I'm too busy living my life. And I encourage everyone to do that. So, no apologies. No apologies. I post when I do. Sorry. But I'm here. And this is in regards to the VIP sale at Sephora that just happened. Yes, I know I'm late. This is like 2-3 weeks late, but that's all right. Anyway, I just wanted to say what I ended up buying. And I actually didn't go too crazy this year. I'm going to be honest with you. I had a gift certificate for $100, and everybody's going to go, but you end up spending, yeah. I didn't spend that much because I had a gift certificate. I also did return something, so I had about $120 that I could use, and I did do that, so I don't feel too badly with what I bought. But it's interesting. I didn't feel like a huge need to buy a lot of things this time, and I feel like that's just kind of how it's been with me. You know, I was spending a lot of money on makeup actually for a time there in these last couple months, and now I'm just kind of in fatigue, or I'm just like, it's really not that interesting. So I really didn't pick up a lot, guys. Sorry. So it's gonna be a short video, which is rare for me, so let's get to it. So I'm addicted to lip products and to eyeshadow palettes. I did not pick up any lipsticks because I need to get through a lot of what I have because it does not stay. So that's kind of what I did. I was a palette girl this time. So I'm going to start with something I was interested in that isn't a palette. The only thing that I got that wasn't a palette was Tiger Grass from Dr. Jart. I don't like the name of this. I know. You know, this is kind of vulgar, and I'm sorry for all those out here who are not into that, but whenever I hear Dr. Jart, I think of Shart. Yeah. So, if you don't know what that is, you go to Urban Dictionary, type it in. So, and so it's kind of like a turnoff to me. It's like, oh, Dr. Shart. Oh, Jart! So I did finally pick it up though because it's Tiger Grass and it is a calming gel cream. And I do have rosacea and sensitive skin, so I finally tried this. I bought it and I've actually been trying it. I am going to do a review on it. I haven't used it long enough to make a decision, but I will say that I have seen somewhat of a difference. But I do want to use half a bottle before I do it. I really believe in using half a bottle and using it every day. And I have seen a little bit of a difference. I'm not gonna lie. So I was excited to try this. I'm hopeful. I'm gonna keep using it. Watch her review on this because I really don't want to say too much right now. But it's a nice little cream actually. Comes in a bottle like this, and it just has a nice scent to it. A little bit of a medicinal scent, but nothing that's a turn off. You know, it's not like, you know, some of them that are like tea tree oil where you're just like, yeah. It's a nice medicinal scent. And the cream, in case you're wondering, it's so precious. Should I use it? It's basically a white like gel cream like this, and you just wipe it in. And it absorbs really quickly, I find. You know, it's just really nice. And actually, the medicinal scent is very fresh. That's what I like about it. It's not too overpowering. It dissipates, you know, in about 10 minutes. And it's just nice. You know, it's calming, actually. I kind of find it nice. So, it's already starting to dissipate. It's just really nice. And it's not overly oily is what I'm finding. And I have oily skin, and it hasn't been clogging me up. So, I'm really excited about that. Now, the other two things that I ended up getting, I wasn't sure if I would do this or not, but it's Natasha Denona, and it is the Sunset palette and the Lila palette. And I'm not going to lie, I've been interested in these for a while. There was no way in hell I was going to pay the full price. So they went on sale for $99, take away 20%. I used my credit, and then I used my gift certificate. So I look at it that I didn't pay much for these. And that's a really good deal. Now, I've heard nothing but good things. I would never pay full price for Natasha Denona. It's just, for me, excuse my ignorance, I don't know who she is. It's not like Pat McGrath, who I know who she is. And I think she just kind of came on the scene going, yeah, look, my stuff's expensive. I don't know who she is. I have looked at her history, but still, and I do think they're completely overpriced. I'm going to say it, and I know there's people who are going to slam me and go, it's worth it. I think it depends on the palette. Let's be honest, because there's certain things that I've used, like the 5-pan palettes, and they're not worth the price. I'm going to flat out say it, except for the Camel palette. The Camel palette was great, but some of the specialty ones, I'm doing reviews on those, and I was not impressed. So that's just me, my opinion. You can have yours. What I will say is that the packaging is really glorious on these, and these have had really good reviews, and so I was really curious about them. And this was the Sunset palette. What I will say is the pans are huge. I think, and people are like, well, that's why the price is so high. Nobody's ever going to pan one of these. And I've heard they don't have a huge shelf life, which is disappointing. And part of me was like, maybe you should return these. But I am curious about them, so I'm not going to do that, especially at the price I picked them up for. But if these don't have a long shelf life, and they start falling apart, and the pans are huge, what's the point? So I'm glad that she has been putting out smaller pans lately, because it's a little bit more realistic in the way to keep your brand alive. Because I'm going to be honest with you. They're talking about us going into recession. It could be a light recession. It's cyclical. Like everything in life, it's cyclical. Nobody's going to be buying makeup here soon. If that happens, it's going to be the first thing to go. That gym memberships, coffees, stuff like that tends to go. These are luxury items. So it's smart that she's doing that, because it's going to help her in the future. You know, it really will. So I know everybody's like, oh my gosh. It's not just that. I feel like people are really on makeup fatigue right now. There's so many brands and so many people pushing out so many new things that even me, I'm kind of like, who cares anymore? So I still love makeup, but I think people are getting fatigued. So I think it's smart that she's putting out smaller pans. And because of that, I think luxury brands to a degree are sort of dying out a little bit. Especially when you have things like ColourPop coming out with more affordable options. It's kind of a slap to the face to the higher industry going, you don't need it. So yeah, but anyway, that's a whole nother video, and one that I may actually do here soon. But yeah, so the pans are huge. It's a pretty color story. I'm a cool tone girl. This is a warm tone palette, but I had heard so many things about it, and I'm just curious and wanted to make my own opinion. So yes, I did pick that up. To be honest, I'm more interested in the Lila palette, because this is a little bit more my aesthetic. Love the color, the cover of it. What I will say is that I was kind of surprised by it, though. I thought that it would be more cool tone than it is. And yes, it's cool tone. Everybody's like, hey, idiot, it is cool tone. You're right. But for some reason, there's these pops of warm. Like here, these are very warm. Even that's warmish. There's these pops of warm. And I don't know. I just was kind of surprised by that. It was warmer than I expected it to be. So, sounds like a freaking bike gang's out there. Yeah, could be. It's New York City. God only knows what's out there. I wondered that half the time when I leave and go in the subway. It's a fabulous subway creatures. Instagram does not lie. That's like every day in New York City. It's not a lie, my friends. So, yeah. But this is what it looks like, and I am curious about it, but looking at it, I don't know. It's different than I expected. I feel like the saturation was a little bit different on the computer than expected, but I'm excited to use it. I'll use this probably more in winter than now, but I will do a review on it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I am curious. I'm curious. Now, the last thing that I picked up was ABH Norvina Collection 1, I think it is. And this is a huge-ass palette. I mean, look at this. It's bigger than my head, but I have a pea head. So there you go. But this thing is huge. And I picked it up on the last day. 20% off. I'm going to be honest with you. The colors looked a lot more muted online. So I just want to bring this to people's attention along with a couple things, because I think it's important to point out. Comes in this, has this, you open it up. First thing I noticed was a little note drops out basically saying this was made in China, which some people don't care. But ABH, a lot of people bought ABH because their products are made in the USA. This is made in China. It's cheaper. $60 for this palette. It's a huge ass palette when their normal palettes are $45 or $48, I think $45. You get this for what, 12 bucks more or 15 bucks more? Why is that? Because it's made in China. That's the reality. The other thing is the pans are huge. They're huge. They are really big. Here you go. And then the colors are a lot more bright than I thought they would be. And there are some beautiful colors here, but they're a lot brighter than I thought they would be. And I really do want to try this out to a degree. Here's the thing. I didn't realize they were as fluorescent as they are, or neon. And there's some things that neon may not be really great for your eyes. I don't know if that's the case. There's not a lot of studies done. A lot of people wear it anyway. A lot of people don't care. I'm on the fence. It's an all over the place color story, and the pans are really huge, and you get all these eyeshadows. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 25 huge pans for $60. It's made in China, which pissed off a lot of people. If you read the reviews of various places, people were really disappointed. This piece of paper basically says that I think 17 of these shadows are not wearable on the eye. It says these are not intended to be used on your eye. 17 of these. What that means is basically, from my understanding, the FDA does not approve these in the US, but they do approve them in Europe. You know, it's just different places do different things, and the FDA doesn't give a crap as much about makeup as some other things that they would be looking at, because they're just not. So I get it. So they're kind of like, they're not up to date with Europe. We'll just put it that way. It can stain your eyes. The reason is a lot of these things can stain your eyes. They can irritate certain people's eyes because things are cruelty-free or vegan. It means they have to use more dyes and things than if they were using the natural critters, like for carmine and stuff. But, which a lot of people are against, and I get it. I totally get it. You shouldn't raise something to slaughter it to put on your eyes. I get it. But that puts the whole argument of then people are eating meat and stuff, so where do you draw the line? Whatever. I get it. I'm not going to really go into it. That's not what my channel's about. But still, that doesn't take away the fact that in the US, I think it's 14 to 17 of these shadows are not supposed to be put on your eyes, yet it's eyeshadow palette. But they're like, oh, it's pigment. Pigment, okay. But still, it's for your eyes. So if it's for your eyes, why can't I put more than half these colors on my lid? It also has kind of a strange scent to it. I don't know, and I'm very much aware of it that I wasn't aware with other Anastasia palettes. It has this like weird scent to it, and it could be the actual plastic of the palette, but it just has a more chemical scent to it. It just isn't as pleasing to me. I do like the color story, I'm not gonna lie. But this kind of concerned me. It's just, if you're going to put out an eyeshadow palette, don't tell me it's pigments and that 17 shadows, 14 to 17 shadows cannot go into my eyes. I'm returning this because of that, and I'm a little bit disappointed because some of the shadows really did excite me, but in the end I just can't really justify it. It doesn't want to go back in the palette. It's like, no, don't get rid of me, Binky, no, I'm getting rid of you. We'll deal with this later. Yeah, because of those reasons, I'm not going to keep it. I didn't swatch them. I didn't do anything. I read that piece of paper, and it's irresponsible to me. It's irresponsible. If you're going to advertise something, advertise it for what it is. You know, you don't have people buy it and then put a warning in it later. It's just, to me, it's a little bit shady and a little bit disappointing because I'm a huge fan of ABH. What I will say is that these are very similar to the last two palettes, Riviera and, well, not the last two, but this summer, the Riviera and Alyssa Edwards palette. So they're so similar that I like the fact that they were all put into this palette. But then when I read that stuff, I was like, and I didn't buy either of those palettes. I used to buy everything ABH put out, but I've just kind of been like, lately. So I think I am just going to go ahead and return this for the several reasons. I just don't really want it in my life, and I don't know, I feel a little bit duped, to be honest with you. And I know some people are like, well, who cares? And that's cool. Oh, it went in easily that time, but for me, I feel duped, and I don't want that in my eyes, and I don't want to reward it. So I'm going to return this, and it has not been used, and I'll get my 40 some odd dollars back, and I'm excited by that. So yeah, so that's it. I mean, it was really simple this time. I picked up 2 palettes because I'm returning the third. And then this. So in the end, I really didn't end up spending all that much, and I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I kept it really in control and knew what I wanted and what I didn't, and it's great. And so I'll be getting 44 whatever back as well. So I'm really happy with my choices with this. And yeah, so that is it. Let me know what you ended up picking up, or even if you did. I think a lot of people were just kind of burnt out and didn't. There weren't as many videos this year, I don't feel, and I feel like most people are just kind of like, brr, which may be a good thing, because then people start using stuff in their collection, and love that as well, which is kind of where I'm heading to. I feel like I'm just kind of burnt out, and there's like better things I could do with that money, like, you know, go on vacations or have experiences here in New York City or abroad or in different states, and I think maybe that's just a little bit more interesting to me than buying all this new stuff. But that's just me. It may be a phase, we'll see, but you know, come on, makeup industry, you're boring me. So what's interesting is actually the indie brands have been more interesting to me, so you'll see more videos of that stuff coming out, so rock on. But yeah, so for the most part I'm excited by it, but there wasn't a lot of new products except for the Norvina palette, and I'm just gonna have to do a hard pass on that. But I know a lot of people reading reviews are really loving it, so if you're loving it, do it. You know, this is just one person's opinion. You live your own truths. That's a good way to live life. But yeah, so until next time, my friends, have a fabulous day. Bye.